Hi, hello, vanakkam, and welcome back to another episode on your favorite Little Slaw YouTube channel. So, as I have told you, this is going to be the very first session on your DevOps transformation journey, and we're going to see about the Linux. So, how to use the Linux, how to navigate your workplace, and uh, moving around the file system, and creating your own space. What else? A quick look inside. So we're going to see all of these in our day one of your video. And again, why do you need to learn Linux as your first step in terms of DevOps engineering? Because um, as our goal, so the goal is to get you all to speed up and to make you a top tier Linux or like I can basically a DevOps engineer. So the foundation of everything that we do, from managing servers in the cloud to deploying the applications, is the Linux command line. So just forget the fancy graphical interfaces for a moment, because yes, we know Windows have give everything through the graphical user interfaces, but it doesn't help us a lot for a long time. So the real power and control comes from the terminal, and that's why we're going to learn about the Linux. And this is our first day, I mean day one session, and the first day of the drivers ed, I mean like for the super highway of DevOps. So we'll start slow. I'll get you comfortable behind the wheel, and by the end you will be navigating the system with confidence. So I believe you're ready to dive in, and let's get the terminal open, and we'll start the most fundamental question you can ask any Linux system. So here we have our Linux system, the Red Hat Linux 9.4 version, I think. Yep. So our agenda today is very simple. So we're going to find our bearings, that is where, knowing where we are, and to see what's around us, and then moving around, which is navigating the file system, and then some of the basic manipulations like creating and cleaning up files and directories, and picking at the content, that is viewing the contents of the files. So firstly, where am I and what's around me? So that's what we're going to see today. And first thing first, you need to know your current location in the Linux file system. Yes, so to navigate, to make any changes, to do whatever you want to know. Before that, you need to know your present working directory. So just take the initial of all the words, that is present working directory. And when you click on enter, it will give you what is your current location. So think of the command as you are here. So just imagine when you are walking in a very big mall, and there in the maps section you'll be seeing, right, there will be like you are here pin, right? So this is something like that, the pwd is something like that. It so this prints the full path of the directory you are currently in. And now we have typed the pwd, so just an acronym of your present working directory, that's it. So once you acronym it, you get the pwd, and when I type it, I get the home Azure user. And yes, so this is what our user. So we are in our home directory, and Azure user is our personal workspace, right? So that's the first command that you have learned. And the next command is ls. So since we do not have anything in the Azure user work directory, so we are not able to find. Okay, let me do like this. So let me cd. Usually you're supposed to learn this later, but let me just do a quick cd slash home slash Azure, sorry, Azure user. And when I do a ls, okay, there are no files there as well. That's fine. Okay, so we are already there. Okay, so this ls will list, right? So this will list. I mean, like, now after we typed pwd, we know where we are, and after like ls is the command to know what is in the directory, right? So say for example in Windows, if we are in a directory, we can easily visualize like what are all the directory, but in Linux we do not have this or have that option. So that's why we're using the ls command. So this ls command list the files and directories. Let me do one quick thing. So we do have the etc, and when I do ls, this is just one example. Yeah, so here you can see under the etc folder we have got like tons and tons of directories and folders, right? So this is how the ls works. So when you type ls, it will list the files and directories in your current location. And to make it more informative, let me do one more thing, that is ls space minus l. So what does this do? So this gives a long listing. So when I say long listing, it shows the file's permissions, the owner, who is the owner of this file, and what is the size of the file, and what is the modification date. So now we are in the etc folder, and when I click ls minus l, this, see, this actually takes us through each and every directory. As I told you, like it shows the file permissions. So it shows the file permissions here. You can see L, W, R. So I'll explain you all of these, do not worry. But to know on a high level, on day one level, I would say. So it tells us the file permissions. So these are the file permissions and the owner, the size. So here is the size and the last modification date and who is the owner. So root is the owner basically, right? So since we are in the etc folder. And so yeah, so this ls minus l tell us like what kind of access does the owner and everyone else has, right? And then there is one more command, that is ls minus a. So what is the difference between ls minus l and ls minus a? So this shows all the files. So when I say all the files, even including the hidden ones, that starts with a dot, right? So if you see, these are the dot files which are normally hidden files. So they're also visible now, right? So these are often configuration files which are very critical in DevOps, which we will see very soon. So now it's your turn. So open your Linux environment, run the commands like ls minus a, ls minus l, and see what happens. So just to see the difference, and do you see the entries like dot and double dot? We'll get to that, those means next. So now the next part, which is moving around the file system. So the command for changing, so which you have already seen, because we have changed the directory to cd, so you know what to do. So a cd, which is change directory, will change you or will move you to a specific directory. So since I gave etc, okay, let me go back to my home directory and Azure user. Yep. So now I'm on my, so if I do a pwd, so yep, I'm on my home Azure user because I did the change directory, that is the cd, right? And then there is one more thing, that is if I type cd space dot dot, this will move me one level to the parent directory. So if you see here, I'm on my parent directory now, which is I'm as an Azure user now, right? Basically, previously I'm in my home Azure user, but now I'm in my Azure user. And if I type cd space the tilde symbol, this will take me to the, sorry, this will take me to the home directory directly. So wherever you are in the system, you don't need to type cd space the home directory location. Instead, just type a cd space a tilde symbol, that will take you straight back to your home directory from anywhere. And then, you know, cd space minus, so it'll take you to the previous directory you were in, which has this handy shortcut. So if I type cd space minus enter, so this actually takes me to the home directory, right? So yeah, these are very minute things, and you will definitely need this when you are working as a DevOps engineer. So let's try a few things now. So for example, like let me do a quick clear and we'll go to the top of the screen. So cd space etc will take me to the etc folder. So let me do a quick pwd as I'm on my etc folder. So this directory holds many of the system's configuration files. And now when I run ls, so it looks different from our home directory, right? Yeah. And now when I run the pwd command, this shows I'm in my etc folder. And now if I type cd space dot dot, this will take me to the previous directory, which is the root directory, right? And now the next part is, okay, let's go back. Okay, let me quickly check where am I before I make any changes. So I am in my, okay, cd space tilde will take me to the home user. Yes. So now the next part, the third part of day one, is creating your own space. So as a DevOps engineer, you will be constantly be creating directories and files for projects, scripts, and configurations, right? So the first part of it is creating your new directory. So if you want to create a new directory, so if you want to deploy something, if you want to, yeah, we definitely want to deploy something, right? As a DevOps engineer, what's the command for that? So the command is mkdir, that is make a directory, right? So when you type make mk directory, just making directory, and let me type my first underscore project. And when I type ls now, so here you can see I have got a project inside my home directory. That is my first project. So we can actually create a whole tree of directories at once with -p. So this is incredibly useful. Say for example, if I type like mkdir -p, and I'm in my first, am I right? Yep, my first project slash scripts slash production. So now what it does is it actually created, okay, let me cd into my first project. And if I do ls, see, I have my scripts, and let me do an ls, so I have got my production, right? So this is how it goes actually. So let me now cd into my first project, okay? So yeah, if you want to create a whole directory, whole tree, this could be your even your interview question, right? So how will you create a whole tree of directory? So this is how you can do. Like just type um, make directory -p will actually create an entire list. And now we'll create an empty file. So how to create an empty file? So let me type. The quickest way to create a new empty file is the touch command. Just touch it and you get it. That just that. And under, okay, I'm in my first project already. So let me create touch my, okay, let me just make like this. I'm in my first project. So let me type scripts slash deploy.sh. So now if you see, let me cd into my scripts ls. Yep, I have my deploy.sh, right? So that's how it works. So just do a touch and it will create the file wherever you need to. And now, okay, now you have created a file. And in another scenario, you want to delete a file. So how will you delete a file? So say, for example, I have created a file called deploy.sh, right? Let me quickly delete that. So for that deletion, what I have to do is I have to navigate to the folder. Say, for example, like cd, sorry, let me do a ls and then cd scripts ls. So now I can see the file. So what I'll do is I'll do a rm, that is remove, and the file name now, right? Deploy.sh. So now the file is removed. So now we can see only the production directory folder. Okay, so now we have deleted the file, right? So same way, if I want to delete my production folder, will that work? No, because you cannot remove a production folder with the rm command. And to delete or to remove the directory, you have to use rmdir, and production. So now you'll be able to delete your production folder. So that's how it works. So to delete a file, you have to use rm. To remove a directory, you have to use a rmdir. So quick word of caution. So the rm command, especially with -r and -f. So r is recursive and -f is force. So it is extremely powerful and it delete files permanently without confirmation. So be very careful when you're using -r and -f arguments with the deletion. So now I'll give you the first day practice in the GitHub page and in the even in the Blogger page as well. So please do follow that, create it, and update the screenshot in the screen. So that's the homework for you. And now, before we complete, there is one more thing that we need to complete for the day. That is the cat command. So have you ever heard about the cat command? Okay. Sometimes we just need to quickly see what's inside a file without opening an editor, right? So in those cases, we have to use the cat command. That is, this command reads a file and prints the contents to the screen, and it's best used for small files because if it's a very big file, then you have to scroll a lot more time. So what I'll do is let me create a file. So let me do a, where am I now? PWD, yep, I'm in the right place, no worries. So echo hello DevOps engineers, and then greeting.txt. Yep. So now in the file called greeting.txt, I have the lines which is hello DevOps engineers. The symbol is for the output direction. It takes the output of the echo command and puts it in the greeting.txt file. So if I type the cat command, that is greeting.txt, so here you can see I can see the commands. I don't. This is uneditable. You cannot edit it, but all you can do is just see the command. That's what we do. So it's kind of a concatenate command, which where you can see the results of the file without even opening it, right? There are other ways to open it. I mean, we can use vim, we can use sudo, vi, other text editors, but this is one way where you can just edit the content, view the contents, right? So I'll update the homework in the GitHub page, and you can find that in the description section. Please do that, and we'll catch you up on the next day, the day 2 session, where we can see about the permissions, the ownership, and the power, right? Thank you so much for watching this video, and thank you so much for your all the very best for your DevOps transformation journey. See you all very soon. Take care and bye bye.